Vietnam among very few countries to post a GDP growth rate of 2.5 to 3% at the signing of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership or RCEP agreement in 2020, when Vietnam assumes ASEAN Chairmanship are among the top 10 domestic economic events in the year. The following are the 10 outstanding events as selected by the Vietnam News Agency.
Given the severe global economic downturn caused by COVID-19 in the year, Vietnam is among very few countries to post GDP growth estimated at 2.5 to 3%. This is attributable to the flexible management of the government and the determination of the entire political system to complete the dual goals of containing the pandemic and maintaining economic growth. The result creates a crucial foundation for the country to fulfill socio-economic targets during the 2021 to 2025 period.
The RCEP agreement was officially signed on November 15th within the framework of the 37th ASEAN Summit organized by Vietnam as ASEAN Chair 2020. The pact is expected to create the world's first ever largest free trade agreement area with combined GDP of $26.2 trillion, or around 30% of the global GDP and nearly 28% of the global trade. Apart from RCEP, the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement officially came into force since August 1st, which has opened up many strategic trade cooperation for Vietnam in the time ahead.
The year 2020 witnessed unusual extreme weather patterns, notably the historical flooding in the Central region. After 7 storms continuously ravaged the region in October and November, with the 9th, Molave, the most destructive storm of the past 2 decades. The total damage caused by natural disasters in the year was estimated at 38.4 trillion dong, about $1.66 billion, with up to 31.7 trillion dong by floods and storms.
The Prime Minister on June 3rd signed Decision 749 QDTTG approving the National Program on Digital Transformation until 2025 with a vision toward 2030. This is the first time the government has issued a decision on national digital transformation with the aim of developing a digital government, economy and society and establishing Vietnamese digital technology enterprises that can go global. Under the program, the digital economy is expected to make up 20% of the country's GDP, and Vietnam is expected to enter the world's top 50 countries in the Global Competitiveness Index by 2025.
Although the COVID-19 pandemic has severely disrupted the global supply chain, Vietnam's exports still maintain high, hitting the record of some $20 billion. In 2020, 31 groups of commodities charged the over $1 billion club in export revenue, making up 92% of the total export value. Of them, 6 posted export revenue of over $10 billion.
Public investment disbursement has been stepped up in the year and projected to exceed 90% of the set target, the highest in the 2011-2020 period. Since the beginning of this year, the government has regarded public investment as a major resource to spur national economic growth.
"2020 marked the first year when the State Bank of Vietnam has slashed policy rates for 3 times by 1.5 to 2% per annum. The adjustment has supported liquidity for credit institutions, lowering borrowing costs for people and businesses.
The COVID-19 pandemic is seen as the most formidable challenges to the business community. A total of 93,500 enterprises ceased operations, waited for dissolution procedures, and completed dissolution procedures during January-November, a year-on-year increase of 15.6%. most of the companies operated in the fields of catering, real estate, brokerage service, logistics, among others. The increase in these serving businesses makes the government's target to have at least 1 million enterprises by 2020 unfeasible.
After 20 years of operation, the Vietnamese stock market has developed in both scale and quality and become an important channel to mobilize mid- and long-term capital, making significant contribution to the economy. As of November 30th, the country's stock market capitalization had hit over $6.11 million, the highest level ever, accounting for 101.33% of the GDP, and surpassing the target of 70% as set in the stock market development strategy by 2020.
"2020 is a tough year for the aviation and tourism sectors due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The outbreak drove national flag carrier Vietnam Airlines loss of more than 15 trillion Vietnam dong, or $649.6 million, while Vietjet Air, Bamboo Airways, and Pacific Airlines reported tens of trillions of Vietnamese dong in loss. The COVID-19 pandemic has also wreaked havoc on the tourism sector, with the number of foreign visitors dropping 80% and that of domestic travelers slipping nearly 50%. Total loss was estimated at 530 trillion Vietnam dong.